everybody. Welcome to the ELA podcast, Explore the Opportunities with AI. Today, I am so excited for our guest, someone who has been at the forefront of tech world for over 2 decades, Mr. Robert Scoble. He is a legendary blogger, author, futurist, and tech evangelist, whatever you call it. He's done it all. And I really am really so excited for him to come on today to share with us, what he has been working on, evolving from the world of tech. He shared with me that he's one of the first that hosted Siri Apple, right? Lunch at your
Yeah.
home. So welcome on the show, Mr. Robert.
Thanks so much. Yeah, Siri was the first artificial intelligence consumer app. There was military stuff before that. But yeah, it was launched in my house. So I've been watching the AI space since the very beginning, and nobody else can really say that.
I know, right? Before we begin, can you please share with us a little bit about your background?
Yeah.
And your journey to get to where you are right now?
I was Apple's first child laborer back in 1978. So I learned to build Apple II motherboards. My mom got a job and we built them in our house. She got a job to build, I think, 1,000 or something of these motherboards. She worked for a lady named Hildy Licht here in Silicon Valley. And she got a job from Apple to build the first Apple II motherboard. So yeah, that led into a whole career of studying new things and being a strategist at Microsoft, writing 7 books about technology, and seeing many first things. I was early on Instagram. I had the first ride in the Mercedes in the first Mercedes autonomous car, which isn't really even out yet. They had to turn it on for me.
I was gonna say, wait, I didn't even know Mercedes has.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird shit I'd done in my life.
Oh my gosh!
I wrote 2 books on spatial computing, which we have. We have these spatial computers from Apple now, right? I wrote 2 books before that thing came out, so about spatial computing. And yeah, I've done a lot of weird things, mostly journalism, strategy, futurism, marketing, all mixed together.
So what sparked your interest in AI? Because right now you are full in AI technology.
Truth be told, when Siri came into my house with the 3 founders of Siri and they showed me Siri, I really had no idea what AI was, really, other than I'd read, Wired article magazine kind of things, someday AI will matter to human, sort of things, right? Or look at some of the early military work or something like that.
Oh wow! No way.
But Adam Chire, I found a lot of bugs with Siri, and they actually slipped a month or 2 because of the first. They visited my house twice, right? And the first time it just didn't work, and he stopped the interview and opened up the back end of it so I could see how it worked. And he explained, Adam Chire, one of the founders of Siri, explained how it worked and showed how it worked, and that got me interested in it. That taught me that this was a new way to build software that the world hadn't seen before.
Are you technical at all? So you
no, I worked at a computer programming magazine for almost a decade. I didn't learn how to program because of that, but I did learn how technology works at some level. And obviously I worked at Microsoft and interviewed 600 employees. So I can hang with the smartest people and at least understand what they're trying to do with their work. I certainly can't. I certainly can't build a compiler or do anything technical like that. I can talk to ChatGPT though and ask ChatGPT to write me some code. Now, is it going to be accurate? Is it going to be right?
You don't know.
Well, we could put it in a compiler and see if it works or not.
If it works.
But the problem is, when it throws an error, I don't know how to fix it.
Oh,
Now
yes.
I can talk to Chat GPT and say, hey, you wrote buggy code, it doesn't compile. You know,
Mhm.
can you fix the code? Sometimes it actually fixes the code on its
Mhm.
own. But really, if you're going to want to push these systems around, you have to have some understanding of how to fix the code yourself, and or to read the code
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
understand where it made a mistake, you know, because it does hallucinate, just like it does with English, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I hallucinate with English all the time.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the AI, right? If you
Don't
ask Chat
looking at me.
GPT a question, and sometimes it bullshits, you know?
I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I know that your journey, you are very early on, get into like tech world, Microsoft, Apple. You're one of the first, get to experience them, right? Definitely,
Yeah.
that has a lot of leverage on you as well. But like, what are the challenges, that you like, going through, from getting into Apple, Microsoft, and what do you feel are the challenges that you overcome to be like, where you can be comfortable and successful?
Yeah. I'm still overcoming. I'm sad.
Oh,
I don't know that I've overcome. I was lucky. My dad moved us to Cupertino, California in 1971, right? And
mhm,
that's where Apple started. So Apple started in our backyard, right? I didn't move to
mhm.
Apple. Apple started right
Oh,
in our
wow.
backyard. I was in
Uh-huh.
the first computer club at high junior high and that kind of thing.
Oh, no way.
Um,
So you're
yeah.
starting
So
a new
I
job.
guess the challenge is, you know, um, I over my career, I had a lot of challenges trying to figure out how to get interesting people onto my show, sort of like what you're trying to do with your
Right,
show, right?
yeah. Uh-huh.
And you know, like Mark Andreessen was on my show, and it took me a year to get him on my show after he agreed to be on my show, right? So
Oh, wow.
I had to bug him before he agreed, and then you know it still took another year. So those kinds of challenges. Um,
Okay.
you know, I have a an autistic son, a special needs son. So personal life, I have challenges learning how to train him for the real world, how to interact with
Mhm,
him. You know, because when we first learned about his condition, the doctor said he might never talk to us, and now he's talking, but
mhm,
he's hard to understand still for me, and
mhm,
I'm his dad.
mhm,
Certainly, the new AIs don't understand him,
mhm,
so that's an issue that I'm trying to get the industry
mhm,
to focus more on these kinds of kids because they do have things to say to computers. He's very frustrated that he can't talk to a computer. Um,
mhm,
you know, but yeah, you know, he'll figure it out and the computer will figure out that what they need to do is train on a lot more people's voices, a lot more diverse group of
mhm.
voices, not just white fat dudes who grew up in Cupertino, California, right?
Wow. That is so true. How much technology does your son
uh,
interacting every day?
he learned to read on a YouTube. He's had an iPad since he's a year and a half old, and he's 16 years old now. So
Mhm,
he, you know, he has just as much technology as anybody else, but his interests are very narrow and very specific. Like he likes old monster movies, right?
mhm,
And he knows a lot. He's like Rain Man. So autistic
mhm,
people sometimes they get an expression like a Rain Man where they know something really deeply. That's why
mhm.
by the way, a lot of Silicon Valley leaders have a little bit of autism, right?
Yeah.
You
Mhm,
know, um, and certainly like Bram Cohen, who wrote BitTorrent, he's a decentralized computing pioneer. He admits
mhm.
he's autistic, and
Right,
he has some of this magic. You know,
right.
you can memorize something very detailed, very deeply.
Mhm,
He had My son has that for old monster movies, so he could tell
mhm.
you you know,
Everything.
who directed a
Yeah.
movie, what kind of stop motion animation was, or
Mhm,
what kind of animation was used to make
mhm.
the monster move, who made the stop
Yeah.
motion animation, all for movies that were made in the 1950s or 60s, right?
Oh,
And
no way. So he
that's what,
remembered it all.
yeah, that's what he gets.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have
So,
challenges here and there.
so what do you think the opportunities that are there for AI to bring,
Oh,
to people like your son and artistic people?
uh,
Because I know that like technology is there, right? And then like, we are interacting so much with technology every day. Do you feel like,
yeah.
there's something that AI could come up with, or if it's already there, to
Well, let's
help?
talk about the next 18 months. In the next 18 months, the first people are going to get a humanoid robot in their home. I've already been to some of the companies and seen them. It's crazy.
Mhm.
We're getting
Oh,
augmented reality glasses. I mean, this
right.
Vision Pro is too heavy and too big and too expensive for consumers to really
It
get
is.
excited about it.
Yeah,
But the
3,000.
in the next 18 months, a pair of lightweight glasses are coming
Oh,
from a
yeah,
number
wait,
of
what's
different
the company?
manufacturers.
Uh, I
Well, there's a
read
bunch of them coming.
there's a bunch
Apple,
of them.
Google,
Uh,
all the usual players are going to come out with this glasses
uh-huh.
sometime in the next 18 months. We're also getting, because of the glasses, we're getting virtual beings. So we're going to have a virtual being standing here talking with us soon, right?
Yeah.
And interacting with us. And that's all AI driven. And
Yeah,
then we're getting autonomous car networks as well. If you're in San Francisco, you already have one, or two, but normal, it's still not in my street in Silicon Valley, right?
no,
So
it's
I'm
not.
expecting
Yeah,
it to be in my street,
yeah.
and probably a lot of streets in the world in the next
Mhm.
18 months. So
Yeah.
you just take down the next 18 months are pretty crazy. And a lot of this is all driven by AI, right? And
Mhm.
this is why you're seeing the valuations at Nvidia and other companies
Yeah.
skyrocketing, because there's just a huge amount of economic activity.
Mhm.
And everybody who gets $1 billion to build an AI company is having to spend a lot of that on Nvidia cards in a data center to build the
Yeah,
models that
okay.
they're trying to build.
Okay.
Right.
So that's
So
the reason why. Yeah.
yeah, so the next 18 months in AI is going to see a lot of change. We're just getting multimodal models where the camera can look at everything around you and know everything
Yeah,
around
vision
you. That's how
computing.
the robot works, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. So yes, all these great things are coming out, but how long? So in 18 months, but how long do you feel like it will be accessible to like majority of the public? Like you talk about like autonomous car, coming out like Waymo, the car itself is like 500 grand, and you like to have
No,
that
but you rent, you don't buy it.
self-driving
You
car.
rent it.
You rent it.
It's like
Gotcha.
an Uber, right? And
Right.
it's a little bit more expensive than an Uber right now in San Francisco,
Mhm.
but the
Yes.
cost, let's be
To
honest, the
build it,
cost is
right?
way less for Waymo company because they don't have a human in the car.
Yeah, gotcha.
Adding a human, the Waymo car, even though it's 500, let's say it's 300 or
Yeah.
$500,000, that's only like $10 an hour cost.
Mm,
You add a human to that
gotcha.
car, and
Mhm.
now you're talking $28 a cost.
Mhm.
The Waymo doesn't have a human in it, right?
Okay.
And so
Mhm.
it's gonna be able to eviscerate, Uber or Lyft eventually as
Gotcha.
they scale up. Right now,
Mm,
they don't have the scale to do that. They're
definitely.
only in a few cities in
Yeah.
America. They're only in, like, 3 or 4 cities and only
Mhm.
pieces of those cities. So
Yes. Uh-huh.
you can't
Yeah.
use it to drive to Yosemite National Park, and until
Uh-huh.
you can, we're still waiting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sounds good.
Things that everybody will get right now, a new series coming on Monday, right?
New series
So
is coming. Ugh.
yeah, so people, I don't know when you're running this show, probably after Apple comes out with the new Siri, but the new
Uh,
Siri is a multimodal Siri, and
uh-huh.
it's going to lead Apple into competing in a variety of different areas.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
that's the kind of thing people, right now, the old Siri, the Siri everybody has as of when we're
Yeah,
doing this show, because we're doing
yeah.
this before WWDC and
Yeah.
on June 10th in 2024. Anybody who's used Siri before that knows Siri really sucks in a lot of different ways. For
Yeah.
instance, let's say you drive your car to San Francisco, you park it, you walk to a museum or to a restaurant, you spend an hour there, you forget where you parked your car, you open up your uh,
Yeah.
iPhone and go, "Hey
Yeah.
Siri, take me back to my car." It doesn't do that. It doesn't understand how to take you back to your car.
Uh-huh.
But if you say, hey Siri, take me back to my parked car, it
Right.
knows where your car is. So
Right.
that's the first thing. It knows where your car is based on your iPhone data.
Uh-huh.
And parked car, it takes you back. Car doesn't work. It's
Mm-hmm.
inflexible AI. It's built, the
Mm-hmm.
old version was built with early AI that was a lot of hand coding, a lot of inflexibility. This new kind of
Uh-huh.
AI, a large language model that OpenAI and Chat GPT are, what's about to happen with the new Siri.
New
The
series
new
coming out.
Siri is,
Yeah.
yeah, the new
I
Siri
wanna
is going to be announced on June 10th at WWDC. This is probably running after that announcement. So the world has already changed just in the time between when we're doing this and when people are watching this.
Oh
Right?
wow. Yeah. It's crazy how fast the world is changing.
It's
The
it
minute we're
sure is.
talking about it, and especially talking to you, because you're like, the first hand of everything. So we're so lucky to have you here. But I want to pick your brain on wearable devices. Just wondering, in terms of like wearable devices, where do you feel like it's going next? Would it ever gonna be replacing the phone?
Yes, eventually, but clearly not yet, right?
Right.
This is state of the art. This is the Apple Vision Pro, costs $3,500, is really amazing to wear. Screens in the middle of the air, you can do all 3D things, which you just can't do on a phone. How
Mm-hmm.
soon is this going? Glasses? I'm seeing glasses coming in about 18, right? So a year and a
Mm-hmm.
half. And
Mm-hmm.
how long will it be before the consumer, the mass market, everybody has them? Probably a few more years after that, maybe even a decade after that, right? It might take 3 versions for people to really get the glasses and understand how to use them and why they want them and why they're better than just a phone. But for
Right.
a while, at least from the Apple company, you're going to need the phone and the glasses together because the phone is doing all the hardcore
Yeah, yeah.
computing. All the
Mhm,
GPUs are down in the phone, and
mhm.
the glasses are going to have very few computers on them. So you're going
Uh-huh.
to need to have both to work together. But
Yeah.
having both means you're not looking at the phone as,
Mhm.
you're computing by, grabbing things with your fingers because the device can see your fingers, can see your eyes where you're looking. In fact, this is Siri. The new Siri pair of Apple glasses, or in this Vision Pro, the Vision Pro is where you're looking, so it can talk to you about things you're holding, where
Mhm,
that you're looking at, that you
mhm.
are gesturing toward, right?
Yeah.
These coffee mugs on Amazon. Siri
Uh-huh.
cannot answer that question. It doesn't know. But in the Vision Pro era, yes, it can answer that question. And that's going to be a dramatically important new thing that I think we're going to hear a lot about on Monday.
Oh, wow. I'm super excited to tune in. Resuming. Sorry, we
Yeah,
having
we're having technical difficulties here in Silicon Valley. Our internet is not working properly. This week, we've had a lot of internet outages across the world. Chat
mm,
GPT and Perplexity and Claude were all down
mhm.
this week. The
Oh,
AI
wow.
world was down, but the internet is being attacked by some sort of hacker group, probably
Ooh.
from some sort of nation state, because it's a big attack. So I think we're being hit by some unusual internet problems. And
Mhm.
sorry.
To
By the
switch
way,
back.
this
Mhm.
brings up something. right?
Yeah.
The internet is brittle. It is always been brittle. It always has problems. This
Uh-huh.
is how the internet works.
Definitely.
It's not always working.
Uh-huh.
And people in today's world, it's hard to understand that because YouTube almost always works, right?
I
But
know.
go 20 years back, it didn't work. In fact, X.com, Twitter was down every freaking day, right?
Yeah.
But that wasn't an internet problem.
Right.
This leads to something about AI that I want to talk about, that people
Mm-hmm.
should understand the power of running local models. If you're
Right.
running a large language model on your
Mm-hmm.
phone, that
Mm-hmm.
works without being connected. So if all of a sudden the
Wow.
internet goes down, or you're like at Yellowstone National Park where there's no
Mm-hmm.
connection, you
Uh-huh.
can't get a connection to the internet there, and you need help. If you had an LLM on your phone, you could talk to the LLM on your phone and get help,
Oh wow, that is so powerful.
right? And help might be, what the hell? Where's the
Yeah.
hiking trail in this, at the Grand Prismatic Hot Spring, right? It knows that
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that is so true because we were at the, AI in media and entertainment event, and Jemiah, he did say that like you actually can in the near future hosting the LM model using your phone, and like it's really mind blowing to me because it can fit in your phone. That's
Well,
crazy.
there's some models that fit in phones,
Right.
not all
Not
right. So,
all.
like Chat GPT, that's giving you the best answer, that's a
Uh-huh.
very big model. That's
Gotcha.
running on Nvidia cards up in the cloud, up in a
Right.
data center.
Mhm.
The ones that'll run on a phone are smaller or
Right.
heavily quantized models, but
Mhm.
i.e., very
Yeah.
small models. They might not
Mhm.
give you as accurate an answer, so you probably won't want to ask your phone to write
Mhm.
you a college essay on chemistry or something like that,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Something big, you want to go to a big model. Something
Mhm.
important, you want to go to a big model, right? If you're asking it to code, you want to go to a big model. But
Mhm.
having the small model around, if you're just asking for where's the closest in and out.
Mhm.
Also, local models are private. So if you're having a conversation with your local model on your local phone, that conversation doesn't go to a cloud server anywhere. It can be just private between you and your model, right?
Right.
On your phone that you have control
Mhm.
of. For instance, I'm running Limitless on my Macintoshes that record things like this call, and
Mhm.
then the AI makes a transcription, so it
Mhm.
transcribes all the words we've said. Then it
Mhm.
writes a summary. The AI builds a summary out of
Mhm.
that, right?
Mhm.
Like a short thing that requires a model running locally on my Macintosh so that there's not a privacy problem.
Uh-huh. My question is
Yes.
like, for, conversation with yourself, how to kind of like working on your mental health. You
Oh,
privately kind of want to share those, like, and then you also want to talk to like, a psychologist or, some kind of mental health.
my
Yeah. So like would
yeah.
that work on your
My my
phone?
psychi my psychiatrist uses ChatGPT in her therapy sessions to listen to the conversation between her and her patients.
Right.
And she built a system that builds 7 highly technical notes out of this
Mm.
conversation. And it nailed all my mental illnesses in the first session. It's really, really crazy what
Oh
an AI can
wow.
do by
Oh
listening to
wow.
you, what it can understand about you, what it can keep in a database about you, right? Because as you talk, you might say, "Oh, I like pepperoni pizza." All of a sudden, it's putting that data into a database about you. Oh, Robert likes pepperoni pizza, right?
Is this use case, you like you're using it? Are you
Yeah,
like
yeah, I'm talking about AI that exists right now, and it's already being used this way. Yes.
okay?
Also, you were asking about talking to an AI. Hippocratic AI company is building an AI for hospitals that you will call the hospital and talk to an AI for a long time before you figure out it's not a human being. I did it for 20 minutes talking about a
Oh wow.
colonoscopy appointment. It's amazing to be
Uh-huh.
able to talk to an AI and get answers without having to talk to a human or wait on hold before the
Mm-hmm.
human shows up,
Oh wow,
right?
that is so true. That's such a great use of time because everybody it is a pain,
Stuff
everybody
is
like
coming, and it's coming
asking.
fast.
It
ChatGPT
is.
just to
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Well, yeah, so since we're talking about companies, I want to dive deep into, what it is that you're doing right now. You just mentioned that you have like 45,000 companies on X.com.
4,600, sorry,
Oh,
4,600
4,600.
companies,
Gotcha.
and
Not for
I've mapped them all out because I wanna understand the companies, and so I've mapped them all out, like, into, buckets, like, companies that are doing education,
I'm losing you again, so I
companies
would
that are
love
doing
to
medical, companies that
uh,
are doing things for yeah. No, I think we're back up. Are we back up?
a little bit. Yeah, can you repeat the 4,600 AI companies again?
Yeah. So, oh, no problem. Internet problem, so, it's makes having a conversation interesting. Um, there's 4,600 companies that I've found on X.com. I've put them into separate buckets. Like, if you go to my profile and go view lists, you'll see all of these lists. I've built
Mhm,
lists of education companies that are using AI,
mm,
medical companies that are using AI,
mhm,
marketing and writing tools, all sorts of different kinds of things that you can do with AI. I've split them all up into buckets, separate lists on X.com so that people can watch the whole industry
mhm,
go by. And that's what I do. I watch the whole industry go by, and then I talk to entrepreneurs about what they're building for this world.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. So, do they just go to X and then find you, Robert Scoble, or
Yep.
how do they find you?
Yep. You can search on my name and find my identity
Handle.
is Scobleizer there. So my last name plus Izer. But
Oh,
if you
okay,
search
Scobleizer.
on my name, you'll find me. I'm very easy to find on X.com.
Okay,
And if you
okay,
me and then go view lists and you'll see all my lists. I've built lists of the entire tech industry, but particularly the AI world.
okay. Yeah, no. How long have you been particularly going to the AI world?
10 years now. I've been on
Oh,
X.com 17 years, and I've
uh,
been building my list since they turned on the feature. So,
oh,
these lists
wow.
are very extensive and very well researched and very well curated. Nobody else has an entire list like I
Mhm.
do on
Yeah,
X.com.
and it's available
So,
publicly or
yeah, they're all public. Yep.
oh, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's like a lot of people can just use a lot of business opportunities out of
Yeah,
your
because
list.
I want the community to be able to figure out what's going on, right? It
Uh-huh.
takes people a long time to find all of those companies if they cared, right? And if you had to start it today, it would take you more than a year just to find the 4,600 companies. It's really
Mhm.
difficult to find all these companies.
It is. Yeah, no, definitely. So where do you see AI is having like the biggest potential impact near future?
Ooh, well, near future or like in the next 18 months kind of future or further than that? Because
Further
after that,
than
we have a
that.
humanoid robot, and a humanoid robot is gonna dramatically change our lives, right?
Yeah. Can you share a little bit about what it will mean? In a
Yeah, I mean,
human right robot.
hey, robot, go do my dishes. Hey,
Oh yeah.
robot, go do my laundry. Hey, robot, make me lunch.
Oh, that would be
That's what's
amazing.
gonna come down. And
Yeah,
then
because I
because
saw oh,
are at the same time, hey, robot, rock for me. Or hey, robot, go something like that, right?
Yeah.
This is coming, and it's coming pretty quick to to the world, to the richer parts of the world, at
Yeah,
least.
to the richer part, to the 1% first, right?
Well, you
But
need
definitely.
for a humanoid robot is going to cost to start with. It's going to be very expensive, right? Let's $1,000 to start with. It's going to be in fact things like that it can afford business model of paying for that.
Mhm.
But my combinator kids who are one for less than 10,000, so I know it's
Mm.
to make one cheap, and I cheaper.
Oh, you're saying that you
Yeah.
can have a
A
$10,000 robot.
$10,000 robot is coming sometime in the next decade. I mean, if you're smart and you can run a 3D printer and buy and get a 3D printer working, there's a company here in Palo Alto that built one for $8,000, a little short dude, about 4
No
feet high.
way.
Yeah, that can walk around your house and clean things up and do things
Oh
and
my
talk to you, right?
god,
Because
and you can
they can see
3D.
you, they can interact with you, it can, do things
Oh,
with you.
that is so
Now,
fun.
yeah, the one that but the humanoid robots are coming, and they'll start fairly expensive, so you might have one at your work, but it's not going to be very long. The people who are making them are planning on bringing them to people's homes for less than $10,000.
Mhm. How do you think people can be prepared, to be part of this, like, AI fast-paced, empowered future?
First, if you haven't used an LLM based system yet, like a Chat GPT from OpenAI or a Google's Gemini or Anthropic Claude or Perplexity, you got to. You got to, and you got to start doing it for every fucking thing in your life. That's
Yeah,
how you
definitely.
learn how these things work. That's how you
Uh-huh,
learn where they hallucinate. That's how you learn what they can do. And that
uh-huh,
they will lead you. You start asking questions like, how do I use you better? It'll answer you. It'll tell you, right?
uh-huh.
That's how you learn.
Yeah.
Then once you get once you understand, okay, I'm using Chat GPT on my iPhone, or I'm using this new Siri that's coming out on Monday to talk. Now you're gonna start going, oh, wait a second. There's a lot of other AIs that can do work for me, that
Uh-huh.
can you know, watch my health, right? That's coming. These
Mhm,
little electronic, I have an electric ring from the AI is going to watch the data on that and go, oh, you want
mhm.
how to sleep better, right? Or something.
I know. Yeah, that's something
10
that
years
just.
from now, this thing's going to say, hey, you're having a health problem. In fact, the Apple Vision Pro looks at the back of your eyes and can see 13 different diseases on the back of your human eye. And so the
Holy
computer, when
cow.
you put it on, is going to say, hey, you should go see an optometrist, right?
Oh my
Because it saw
goodness.
cataracts or something like
No
that.
way.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So much
And
goodness.
that's why I built the list of 4,600 companies, because if you really care about becoming AI first and understanding how to use AI in your business or in your life, you're going to
Yeah.
be going through those companies on a regular
Okay.
basis, looking for companies that are doing something interesting for your life.
Mhm. Yeah, and just incorporate it, before there's a too big of a gap to, feel
Well,
really overwhelmed.
everybody's going to get onto it because they're going to have a humanoid robot in their house in 10 years, right?
Yeah,
And that's going to be AI to them. That it's going to be automatic. It's just you
right.
talk to the thing and it has a
Mhm.
conversation with you, right?
Yeah,
You don't need
definitely.
to know you don't need to know how to use AI to do that. But if you
Right.
want to make that thing do more, like if
Uh-huh.
you want to build a system where it's
Right.
integrating into your life in
Mhm.
some new way, then you're
Mhm.
gonna need to know how to prompt it better, right? And in other words, how to get it to tell you a better answer,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And there's lots of
definitely.
ways. For instance, if you ask ChatGPT, "Hey, write me a book," it'll write you a book, but it won't be very good, right?
Yeah,
It does
yeah, yeah. Feel
that without very
wiser.
much data. But if you
Yeah.
say, "Well, I want a very specific book, like a book about serial killers," right? And I want a table of contents first, it does that way better,
Faster.
right? So just changing how you ask the AI for
Mhm.
or a project to do something, how you ask it, it gets it to give you a better answer. And there's many, many little tricks that we talk about on x.com every day about how to make the AI do a better thing for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. So to end our conversation, thank you so much. Like so much goodness coming out this conversation, and thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
I do want to go over this game. We just doing like this or that game.
This or that. All right.
So I'm just gonna go over, a few like list of like the things. Maybe I can add more later with whatever you're using because I only have like the very general, but like for your list, you're probably going to like be really long. But so very quickly, this or that. Okay, you ready?
I'm
Okay.
ready.
All right. So ChatGPT or Google Gemini.
ChatGPT gives better answers. Gemini is built into Gmail. So I use both for different
Okay.
reasons.
So both. So Meta
Yeah.
Llama
Gemini,
or
by the way, people who code, Gemini has a million token context window. Now, what does that all mean? The way you talk to the AI is with a prompt window, right? You
uh-huh.
type to it or you talk to it. With Gemini, you can stick so much information. Talks about a token is roughly about a word or two, right? Um,
Uh-huh.
so a million tokens is about all of the Harry Potter novels all at one time. You can shove them all into the context window, right? You
Oh,
can
right.
drag them into
That is,
Gemini, and
yeah.
then you can talk to Gemini about all of the Harry Potter
All of
books,
this.
right? And
Yeah, yeah.
right,
I know
or
exactly what
all of
you
your
mean.
PDFs or all of your data, right? You're going to do the
Yeah,
same thing, or all
I
of your
agree
code.
with
You're going
you
to put
saying.
like if you're coding in in C
Yeah,
sharp or Rust or something like that, you're going to take all that code and just
yep.
drag it into the context window, give it to
And then,
Gemini, and then you talk to Gemini about your code. Hey, can you debug this piece of code?
yeah.
I'm having some problems with it, right? You just talk to
And
it,
it's
and it's
amazing. I
crazy.
do that too. So, and I'm like, just grab whatever. I don't need to filter it out. I'm just grabbing all the information I can find, feed it into, Perplexity. I use a lot of Perplexity, and I'm just so surprised. And I keep on asking, like, nope, like, do this, do that. And I'm so amazed, like, how, yeah, good it is. Yeah, definitely. So Meta Llama or Grok. Yeah.
Um, all right. So Llama has the advantage that it's an open source model that you can run on your own machines.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it useful
Mm-hmm.
for a developer building a system. A lot,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the developers are using Grok, are using Llama because of that, because it's a model that you can run on your local
Uh-huh.
machine,
Yeah.
or you can run
Uh-huh.
it on Grok with a Q.
Mhm.
GROQ, which
You.
is a
Mhm,
AI inferencing system up in the cloud. And then
mhm,
Llama runs way faster than
mhm,
ChatGPT or Perplexity or
mhm,
Grok with a K. Now, Grok with a K is the AI inside X.com.
mhm,
And it has access to all the real-time data that is on x.com, right? So if you want to
mhm.
know what's happening in sports today, you're probably talking to grok.com, right?
Yeah.
Or Grok over on x.com.
Okay.
In other words, there's different reasons to run different models.
Different models. So no preference. You use it all.
right, for purposes. And you got to sort of be
Right.
understand a bit about, okay, Llama comes from Zuckerberg from Meta Corporation, right? So if you're buying a new pair of glasses from Meta Corporation, you're going to be using Llama a lot, right?
Mhm.
If you're building your own system that you need a standalone engine, you probably
Mhm.
would be considering Llama.
Mhm.
Llama would be compared to Mistral. There's a whole bunch of them. There's a site called Hugging Face where you can find
Yeah.
all the models and
Mhm.
understand all of them and download them and try them. And if you're highly technical, you're probably already doing that. But if you want to learn about the world of models, Hugging Face is the best way to go, best place to
Mm.
start.
Okay, Perplexity or Google search?
Oh, Perplexity is way better than old style Google because it's an LLM based system.
Yeah.
Um, Perplexity is a really nice system for doing research because it
Yes.
tells you where it learned a specific fact, right, and
Mhm.
tells you where it learned that. So for doing an academic paper, I would certainly use Perplexity or consider
Mhm.
Perplexity or another tool like it
Mhm.
that's really well organized or developed for doing this kind of
Mhm.
research.
Mhm. Um. So open source or closed source? Which one you prefer?
Well, prefer open source because for and like the llama and used it in your own software, right?
Okay.
So uh for um for I'm not sure that the end user is going to care about open source that way. The end user will probably care about, can I ask like Siri a question and then, hey Siri, ask the same question of all those and bring all the answers back and tell me how they all differ.
Mhm.
Be doing
Mm.
a lot
Mhm. Okay.
of open. We're starting to see that kind of openness on the back end, right? I think the consumer is going to care more about that kind of openness. And on Monday, with this new Siri, they're doing a deal with OpenAI. So we're going to find out how open they are with the back end. How do you talk to Siri, right? In other words, the models that Apple has built, and
Mhm.
how do you talk to OpenAI and the
Mhm.
models OpenAI has built through
Mhm.
the same system? We're going to find that out on Monday.
I'm so excited for that. So thank you so much, Mr. Robert. I know we're going a little bit over time, but I
Yeah.
really appreciate for you to be here. A little bit problem with our internet, but hey, we'll make it work. So, but I really appreciate you. Maybe we'll have to revisit for another conversation or something. But I really have
Yeah,
great
sorry we're having internet troubles.
yeah.
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, but I had a really great time, just listening to you and picking your brain. Definitely, you're one of the guy that's like, if somebody who said that, like, if you closer to the pastor, you're closer, like one step closer to God. So I feel like if you're closer to Robert, you're like a step closer to AI. So thank you so much, and um,
Love.
well, yeah, we'll keep in touch, okay? All
Hope I
right.
helped entertain you and bring some
Oh,
resources
definitely,
that your audience can figure out where to use AI from and learn a lot more because there's a lot out there to learn.
definitely.
If you haven't, it takes a while, and be patient with yourself.
Be
But
patient.
I've
Yeah.
I, I've given you the 4,600 companies that you can go through and get a real quick
Yeah.
idea.
Uh-huh.
In a couple hours, you're going to get an idea of what AI can do, and it's
Right.
doing a lot from creating
Uh-huh.
videos to
Uh-huh.
driving cars to soon
Yeah.
bringing humanoid robots. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So thanks
Yeah.
for this fun conversation.
Definitely. Thank you so much. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.